Evan Carter had never thought his simple space mission would bring him here on a strange planet far from Earth. He was a young explorer, working for a space company that sent people to find new worlds. His job was to check planets, take samples, and come back home. But this time, something went wrong. His ship had been hit by a strange wave of energy in deep space. Before he could control it, the ship spun out of control and fell toward an unknown planet. He tried everything to stop the fall, but it was too late. With a loud crash, the ship landed in the middle of a thick jungle. Trees shook and dust filled the air. Evan hit his head but stayed awake. When the ship stopped shaking, Evan opened the door. The air outside felt fresh. The sky was a soft purple, and two suns shone high above. The jungle around him was quiet, but it didn't feel empty. He quickly checked his tools and stepped outside. He had to fix the ship if he wanted to leave. But before he could even open the engine panel, he heard footsteps, many footsteps. Evan turned around and saw them. Tall figures in shining armor walked out from behind the trees. Their skin was smooth, colored silver blue. They carried long spears that glowed faintly. Their faces were calm, but their golden eyes stayed fixed on him. Evan raised his hand slowly. I'm friendly. I don't mean harm. One of them stepped forward. He spoke in a strange, smooth language. Evan didn't understand, but before he could speak again, the soldiers gently took his arms. They didn't hurt him, but it was clear they wanted him to come with them. Evan felt nervous should he run. No, that would make things worse. He let them guide him through the jungle. They walked for an hour until they reached a large open space. Before him stood a palace like anything he had seen before. It was made of shining white stones, mixed with vines full of glowing flowers. The towers rose high, touching the sky. Soft lights floated in the air around the palace like fireflies. Evan stared in surprise. The soldiers led him through a grand gate and into a large hall. At the center of the hall stood a throne made of crystal, and on that throne sat her. She was tall, even sitting down. Her long dark hair fell over her shoulders like a river of silk. Her skin was a soft silver, and her eyes golden, glowing, gently as they looked straight at him. She wore a flowing dress that seemed to move like water. A crown of silver leaves rested on her head. She was beautiful, but powerful. Evan stopped in his tracks. The guard stepped aside and bowed. The woman stood up slowly and walked toward him. The hall became quiet. She stood close to Evan, close enough that he could see her eyes clearly. Then she spoke. Her voice was soft but strong, and somehow Evan understood her words. "I've been waiting for you." Evan blinked. "Me?" The woman gave a small smile. "Yes, you, the human who fell from the sky." I didn't mean to come here," Evan said quickly. "I had a ship accident. I don't even know this place." She tilted her head slightly. "You do not know me, but I know you." Evan's heart beat fast. Who are you?" "I am Queen Lyra," she said, "ruler of this land. And you, Evan Carter, are the human my people have spoken of for many years." Evan stared at her. "How do you know my name?" Queen Lyra smiled gently. "We have ways of knowing. You were meant to come. It is no mistake." Evan felt his mouth go dry. His mind spun with questions. Why him? What did she mean? But even as fear touched his heart, something else stirred inside him, a strange pull toward this queen in her golden eyes. Evan knew his simple life as a space explorer was over. Whatever was happening now was only the beginning. Evan stood quietly in front of Queen Lyra. The grand hall was silent. Only the soft sound of flowing water echoed from a fountain nearby. "I don't understand," Evan said slowly. "I'm just a traveler. Your people." Queen Lyra smiled softly. "Long ago our elders spoke of a visitor from the stars. A human, they said. This human would come when our kingdom was in great danger." Evan shook his head. "That can't be me. I'm not a hero. I'm just an explorer. My ship crashed here by accident." Lyra stepped closer, her golden eyes never leaving his face. Accidents do not happen in a world guided by fate. Evan felt confused. He wanted to believe this was a mistake, but deep inside, something told him it wasn't. Lyra spoke again, her voice calm and clear. You will see the truth soon. For now, come with me. The guard stepped aside as the queen gently waved her hand. Evan followed her through wide halls decorated with silver walls and soft lights. The place felt peaceful, yet powerful. They walked until they reached a large open balcony. From there, Ben could see the kingdom spread before him. Tall trees with glowing flowers, rivers shining like glass, and people walking peacefully in the streets below, but far beyond the mountains. Dark clouds hung low in the sky. Lyra pointed at them. The shadow dwellers, she said quietly. Evan turned to her. What are they? Creatures from the void, Lyra answered. They come in the dark, silent and deadly. They destroy everything in their path. We have kept them away for many years, but now they are growing stronger. Evan felt a chill run down his spine. Lyra looked at him again, the old tales say. Only a human, bound by fate, can awaken the power to stand against them. Evan frowned. Why a human? Lyra smiled slightly. Because humans carry a gift that our kind does not. The strength to connect, to bond. That bond creates power. Evan laughed nervously. Bond? I don't even know you. But before Lyra could answer, a loud cracking sound shook the air. A large stone fell from the palace ceiling, breaking free right above Lyra's head. Without thinking, Evan jumped forward and pulled her aside. The stone hit the ground with a heavy thud, sending dust everywhere. The guards rushed in, but Lyra held up her hand. Evan helped her stand. Are you okay? He asked. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes. You touched me to protect me. Blinked. Well, yes. I couldn't let you get hurt. Lyra reached for his hand. A strange, soft light appeared on Evan's hand right where he had touched her. It formed a simple symbol, glowing faintly like silver fire. The guards gasped. Lyra smiled gently. The bond has begun. Evan stared at his hand. What is this? Lyra took his hand carefully. It means you have accepted the bond. Even without knowing, your heart chose to protect me. Evan didn't know what to say. Lyra turned to her guards. Tell the people, the human is here, one we have waited for. The guards bowed and left quickly. Evan stood beside Lyra, feeling the mark still glowing on his skin. I don't get it, Evan said. I only saved you because it was the right thing to do. That is why you are the one, Lyra said softly. A heart that chooses to protect others without asking for reward. That is the heart of a true bond. Evan looked at her golden eyes. He felt a strange warmth inside his chest, feeling he didn't understand yet. Does this mean I'm stuck here? He asked. Lyra shook her head gently. It means you are part of something bigger than yourself. You are not trapped. You are chosen. Evan gave a small, nervous smile. Lucky me. Lyra laughed softly. You will see. Fate never makes mistakes. Evan didn't know what the future would bring. But for the first time since his crash, he didn't feel alone. And somewhere deep inside, he wondered. Maybe this strange world needed him more than he ever thought. The next morning, Evan stood on the balcony of the royal palace. He watched the soft golden sun rise over the hills. The air smelled sweet, and the sky changed colors slowly. But Evan's heart felt heavy with questions. Why him? How could a simple human be part of a kingdom's fate? His thoughts broke when Queen Lyra walked beside him. She wore a soft white dress, her long dark hair shining under the morning light. You are awake early, Lyra said gently. Evan nodded. I couldn't sleep much. Too many thoughts in my head. Lyra gave a soft smile. Come with me. There is something you must see. Evan followed her through the palace halls. They passed guards who bowed respectfully. Some looked at Evan with wonder, others with doubt. Finally, they reached a large golden door deep under the palace. 2 guards stood by it. Lyra touched the door, and it opened slowly with a soft hum. Inside was a wide chamber, glowing with soft blue light. Strange. Symbols floated in the air. Walls were covered with ancient writings. In the center stood a round platform with a shining stone at its heart. Evan stared. "What is this place?" Lyra walked to the platform. "This is the heart chamber. It holds the oldest secret of our kingdom." Evan stepped closer. "What secret?" Lyra looked at him, her golden eyes calm. "Many ages ago," she began, "our people fought a great enemy, the Shadow Dwellers. They came from beyond the stars, feeding on light, life, and hope." Evan felt a cold wind touch his skin. "Our strongest warriors. Even our kings and queens could not stop them alone," Lyra said. "But then, a human arrived from the stars. A traveler like you." Evan blinked. "A human?" Lyra nodded. He formed a bond with the queen of that time. Together, their bond awakened a hidden power force created by trust and unity. Evan stepped onto the platform. The shining stone glowed softly as he moved closer. "What happened then?" Evan asked. "The Shadow Dwellers were driven back." "Into the void," Lyra said. "But the human left, and the bond faded. Now, after many years, the Shadow Dwellers return." Evan felt a strange pull toward the stone. "You think I'm supposed to do the same?" he asked. Lyra walked beside him. "I do not think, I believe. The bond mark on your hand proves it." Evan looked at his hand. The silver mark still faintly glowed. "But I don't even know how to fight," Evan said. "I'm not a warrior." Lyra gave a soft laugh. "The power is not in weapons. It is in trust. In the bond we share." Ivan felt unsure. But deep inside, he knew running away wouldn't help. Lyra touched the stone gently. "Place your hand here." Ivan hesitated, then slowly pressed his hand against the shining stone at once. A warm light flowed from the stone into his hand. Memories not his own flashed before his eyes. Battles fought, friends standing side by side. A queen and a human facing darkness together. When the light faded, Evan gasped softly. Lyra looked at him kindly. "Now you know. The bond is real." Evan nodded slowly. "I felt it, like I was there." Lyra placed her hand over his. "You are not alone in this. I will stand with you." For the first time, Evan didn't feel afraid. "I'll try," he said. "I'll help." Lyra smiled. "That is all I ask." Later that day, news spread across the kingdom. The human had accepted the bond. Some cheered. Others whispered in doubt. At the training grounds, Evan stood with a group of alien warriors. They were tall, strong, and trained since birth. The captain, a tall warrior named Kale, looked at Evan with serious eyes. "You are brave," Kale said, "but bravery is not enough." Evan nodded. "I'm here to learn." Kale gave a short nod. "Then show me." Evan trained with the warriors. He learned to use simple weapons, to block, dodge, and move fast. At first, he stumbled and fell. The warriors laughed quietly, but Evan didn't give up. Days passed. Step by step, Evan grew stronger, and slowly. The warriors began to respect him. One evening, while practicing sword moves, Evan noticed Queen Lyra watching from a distance. He smiled. She smiled back. Evan knew the bond between them wasn't just a mark on his hand. It was something deeper, and maybe it was the key to saving this world. Evan stood in the middle of the training ground, holding a wooden sword in his hand. Around him stood the alien warriors, watching with sharp eyes. He felt the sweat on his face and the burning in his arms, but he refused to stop Captain Kale. The tall and strong warrior walked toward him. "You have improved human," Kale said. "But training on the ground is not the same as facing real danger." Evan nodded. "I know. I want to be ready." Kale gave a slight nod and pointed toward the nearby forest. A group of shadow dwellers was seen near the village by the river. "We will go there tonight. You will come with us." Evan felt his heart beat faster. This was no practice. This was real. "I'll come," Evan said firmly. Kale stared at him for a moment, then gave a short nod. "You may be the Queen's chosen, but out there, you will need more than fate. That evening, Evan prepared with the warriors. They wore light armor, carried long spears, and moved without making a sound. Queen Lyra came to see them off. She walked toward Evan, her eyes soft but serious. "I believe in you," she said quietly, "but you must believe in yourself." Evan looked at her golden eyes. "I won't let you down." Lyra gently placed her hand on his. The bond mark glowed softly between them. "Remember," she whispered, "we are stronger together." Evan felt a strange warmth in his chest. He nodded. "I'll come back safe." Lyra smiled. "I will be waiting." The group moved silently through the dark forest. The night air was cool, and the twin moons gave soft light through the trees. Evan stayed close to Kale, watching every step. Warriors moved like shadows, their eyes sharp, their ears listening for the smallest sound. Suddenly, Kale raised his hand. Everyone stopped. Evan followed Kale's. Ezon saw them. Dark shapes moved between the trees, shadow dwellers. They were tall, thin creatures with black skin that seemed to melt into the darkness. Their eyes glowed faint white, empty and cold. Evan felt a chill in his heart. Kale whispered, "They are many, but we fight together." The warriors moved fast. In seconds, a fight began. Evan held his sword tight. One shadow dweller rushed at him, claws reaching out. Evan ducked, rolled aside, and struck with his sword. The creature hissed and fell back. Kale fought beside him, moving like a flash of light. Evan felt fear but also something else. Courage. He fought with all his heart, remembering Lyra's words. "We are stronger together." After a hard battle, the shadow dwellers slipped back into the darkness. Some were defeated. Others escaped. The warriors stood still, breathing hard. Kale placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. "You fought well? It's better than I expected." Evan smiled a little. "Thanks." Kale gave a rare, small smile. "You have earned our respect." Evan felt proud. He wasn't just the Queen's chosen anymore. He was part of their team. When they returned to the palace, Queen Lyra waited at the gate. Evan walked toward her. Lyra's eyes looked at him with soft pride. "You returned, safe and strong," she said. Evan smiled. "I did what I had to do." Lyra stepped closer. Before Evan could speak again, she wrapped her arms gently around him. "You are mine, my human, and I am yours," she whispered. Evan felt a deep warmth in his heart. He didn't know what the future would bring, but in that moment, he felt truly connected. Days passed, and the bond between Evan and Lyra grew stronger. They spent time together talking, walking in the palace gardens. Sharing stories of their worlds, Evan learned that Lyra was not just a queen. She was a leader who carried her people's hopes. And Lyra learned that Evan was not just a human, he was someone who never gave up. One evening, as they watched the sunset together, Lyra said softly, "I believe. You were meant to come here." Evan looked at her. "I'm starting to believe it too." Lyra smiled. "We face a dark enemy. But together we have a chance." Evan nodded. "I won't leave your side." Lyra gently took his hand. Look at the bond. Mark glowed softly between them. At that moment, Evan knew this bond was more than magic. It was trust, friendship, is something he couldn't explain, and whatever came next, they would face it together. The sky turned dark over the kingdom. Black clouds gathered, blocking the light of the twin moons. The air felt heavy, and the ground shook slightly underfoot. Evan stood at the palace gates beside Queen Lyra. Warriors filled the city streets, ready with swords, shields, and spears. The people watched in silence, fear in their eyes. Lyra's voice echoed across the crowd. "Today, we stand as one." The warriors raised their weapons. Evan looked at Lyra. "They're coming, aren't they?" Lyra nodded. "The shadow dwellers have gathered their full army. They will attack tonight." Evan took a deep breath. "Then we fight." Lyra placed her hand on his. The bond mark on Evan's hand glowed softly. "We fight." "Together," she said. Soon, the dark army appeared beyond the city walls. Thousands of shadow dwellers moved like a black wave over the hills. Their empty eyes glowed in the darkness. The city gates closed, and the warriors stood ready. Evan stood in the front line with Kale and Lyra. Kale gave him a sharp look. "Stay close. We protect each other." Evan nodded. "I'm ready." A deep, cold voice echoed through the air. "You cannot win," it said. Everyone turned. From the darkness stepped a tall figure, a shadow dweller, larger than any Evan had seen. His body was made of swirling black mist, his eyes burning white. Lyra whispered, "The Shadow King." The Shadow King raised his hand. The dark army charged. The battle began. The shadow dwellers attacked the city walls, climbing over them. Like dark spiders, warriors fought bravely, holding the walls, pushing the creatures back. Evan fought beside Kale, blocking strikes, cutting through shadows. For every shadow dweller they defeated, two more came. The city shook with the sounds of battle. Lyra fought. With grace and strength, her sword glowing with soft light. Where she moved, shadow dwellers fell back. Evan felt the bond's power inside him, giving him strength and courage. But even with all their efforts, the shadow dwellers pushed closer. Soon, the Shadow King himself stepped forward. He raised his dark hand, and a blast of black mist hit the city walls. The gates cracked. Lyra shouted, "We must stop him." Evan ran beside her. Kale and a group of warriors followed. They reached the city gates as the Shadow King stepped inside. The air grew colder. The ground turned dark under his feet. Evan stood face to face with the Shadow King. His heart pounded, but he did not step back. The Shadow King spoke, his voice deep like thunder. "You are only a human. You cannot stop me." Evan felt Lyra beside him. He spoke firmly. "Maybe I can't, but we can." The bond mark on his hand glowed brighter. Lyra raised her sword. "Together, we stand." The Shadow King attacked. Dark waves shot toward them like sharp winds. Evan blocked with his sword. The bond's power spread through him, creating a shield of light. Lyra struck with her glowing sword. Cutting through the darkness, Kale and the warriors joined the fight. The battle was fierce. Evan fought with every bit of strength in his heart. He felt the bond between him and Lyra growing stronger with every strike. The Shadow King tried to break them apart. Together they stood firm. Evan shouted, "Now." Lyra and Evan joined. Hands, a bright light burst from their bond, marked stronger than before. The light hit the Shadow King directly. He let out a loud cry as the darkness around him cracked like glass. The dark army paused. The Shadow King fell to his knees, his dark form shaking. Lyra looked at Evan. "We have to finish this." Together, Evan nodded. Lee stepped forward as one. With a final strike, Lee touched the bond mark to the Shadow King's chest. A wave of pure light exploded. Pushing the darkness away, the Shadow King vanished into the air like dust in the wind. The shadow dwellers froze, and then faded away like shadows under the sun. Silence filled the air. The battle was over. The warriors cheered. The people of the city came out, raising their hands in joy. Evan turned to Lyra. "We did it." Lyra smiled, her golden eyes shining. Softly, "We did." Together, Kale walked toward them, giving a rare smile. "You fought well, human. You have the heart of a true warrior." Evan smiled back. "Thank you, Kale." That night, the kingdom celebrated. Evan stood beside Lyra. On the palace balcony, looking at the happy faces below, Lyra took his hand gently. "The bond between us saved this kingdom." Evan looked into her eyes. "It saved me too." Lyra smiled softly. "Whatever comes next, we face it together." Evan nodded. "Always." As fireworks lit up the sky, Evan felt peace in his heart. His journey was not over. But now he had a place to belong, and he knew this was just the beginning of a new story. The morning sun rose over the kingdom of Alinder. The dark clouds were gone. The air felt fresh, and the sky was clear and bright. Evan stood on the palace balcony beside Queen Lyra. Below them, The people cheered and waved flags of shining colors. The kingdom was alive with joy. Evan looked at Lyra. I still can't believe it. We won. Lyra smiled softly.
Did.
Because we stood together. Evan nodded. The shadow dwellers are gone. The people are safe. Lyra turned to him. And you. You are more than a hero to them now. You are part of this kingdom. Evan smiled. I feel like I finally belong somewhere. Lyra reached for his hand. The bond mark between them glowed gently, a soft silver light. You do belong. With us? With me? Lyra said. Evan felt a deep warmth in his heart. Later that day, a great gathering was held in the palace square. All the people of Elendor came to see the queen and the human who saved them. Lyra stood before the crowd, wearing a silver crown and a flowing white dress. Evan stood beside her in simple armor, feeling both proud and nervous. Lyra raised her hand. The crowd became silent. My people, she began, her voice clear and strong. Darkness came to our land, but together we drove it away. Crowd cheered. Lyra smiled. We could not have done it without him. Evan Carter, the human who became one of us. Evan felt the crowd's eyes on him. But instead of fear or doubt, he saw smiles. Respect. Hope. Lyra continued. Evan showed us that trust and courage can change the world. He is not just a visitor. He is our friend, our protector, our chosen one. The crowd cheered louder. Evan felt his heart swell with joy. For the first time, he truly believed. This was where he was meant to be. After the gathering, Evan walked through the palace garden with Lyra. The soft sound of water flowed from a nearby fountain. Lyra stopped and looked at him. The people love you, and so do I, Evan smiled. I never thought I'd find a place like this, or meet someone like you. Lyra stepped closer. You gave me hope when I almost lost it. You reminded me that we are stronger together. Evan gently took her hand. You showed me that even a simple human can do something great. They stood quietly for a moment, their bond glowing. Softly between them, Lyra whispered, I want you to stay by my side, not just as a warrior, but as a partner. Evan looked into her golden eyes. He felt no fear, no doubt, only trust and a deep connection. I want that too, Evan said, softly. I want to stay with you. With your people. Lyra smiled, her eyes shining with warmth. Then stay. Forever. In the weeks that followed, peace returned to the kingdom. The people rebuilt the walls, planted new trees, and sang songs. A victory. Evan trained with the warriors, helped the villagers, and learned the ways of Elendor. He became a leader respected, trusted, and loved. Kale often trained with him, and even called him brother in front of the others. And every evening, Evan walked with Lyra, talking about the future they would build together. One night, as they stood on the palace tower, Lyra looked at Evan with a soft smile. There is so much to do. So many new paths ahead, Lyra said. Evan nodded. We'll face them together. Lyra gently wrapped her arms around him. You'll never be alone again, my human, she whispered. Evan hugged her back, and I'll never face anything alone either. The twin moons shone above them, lighting the sky with soft silver light. Evan knew his journey wasn't over, but he also knew he wasn't afraid of the future anymore. With Lyra by his side, with the bond they shared, they would lead Elendor into a new age of peace and hope together.